Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone, hope you're all well and safe. Thank you so much for joining me on my Fariha network takeover. My name is Sarah. I'm a homeschooling mum of 3. I'm also the author of the Islamic children's book I'm So Angry, and I'm the social media manager for Crawley Game Changers Football Academy. I'm so honoured to share this platform with so many inspiring women, and I'd like to take this opportunity to say a big thank you and Jazakallah khair to the Fariha network for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of such an amazing initiative, an initiative that helps and benefits so many women. And to be a part of this for the 3rd year in a row really is so exciting for me. So thank you so very much, and thank you to all of you, the community of the Fariha network that have always been so welcoming, so kind and so supportive. Thank you so much. Those of you who've seen my Ramadan takeovers before will know that every year I do a short Q&A with my children. You guys all seem to really enjoy seeing my children and hearing from them, so I will continue that. So stick around to hear my children answer some of the questions that you all kindly posted on my Instagram. Moreover, I wanted to come on here and share my experiences of Ramadan as a homemaker, but I also wanted to leave you all with something that you can do to make Ramadan more productive. I wanted to leave you guys with some tips and some advice, something that we can all implement to make sure that we make the most of Ramadan. So I didn't want to just sit here and talk and share my experiences with you. I also wanted to give you guys all something that you can take away and implement into your lives straight away, and inshallah as a result have a more productive Ramadan, and inshallah maybe I'll get some of that reward. So my objective is to share my experiences of Ramadan as a homemaker, but I love to learn from all of you. So please do contact me, reach out, let me know how you found this takeover, let me know what you implement, let me know your experiences of Ramadan as a homemaker, because I would love to learn from all of you. We are a community, we're all here to help each other. So whatever I share is first and foremost a reminder to myself, but also I'd love to learn from all of you guys and hear your experiences, your ideas, your advice. So please do feel free to comment and share your ideas and your tips and tricks, inshallah. So like I said, I'm here to share my experiences of Ramadan as a homemaker, but I'm also here to encourage and support others to strive to be the best versions of themselves, and inshallah to have the most productive Ramadan as they can, inshallah. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and the most sacred month of the year. No matter who you are and what your role may be, Ramadan is the month to focus on purification, connection and implementing good habits that you hope to continue throughout the year, inshallah. Making the most of this month can be a difficult task for most of us women. If you think about all our roles and our responsibilities, families, children, work, etc., it's a lot, and trying to then make the most of Ramadan can be quite daunting. The anxiety of adding to our endless to-do list can seem quite overwhelming and even stressful. And if you're anything like me, then you're filled with tremendous guilt if you don't meet your goals and all your roles and responsibilities during this month. It would not be an understatement to say that as a homemaker, no one can take your place. It is by far the hardest job there is. And often you'll find that you'll prioritise everyone else and their needs over your own. I think it's really important to remember that the role of a homemaker is an incredibly privileged and honourable position. It's definitely one that I don't take for granted. I mean, if you think about it, you can enter Jannah as a homemaker. What a prestige, honourable position that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. And so it's really important to remember that your role is incredibly important, and don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. For me personally, I spend most of my time sacrificing what I need for my family. So my family's needs, my family's responsibilities, their tasks always are prioritized before anything that I might need or anything that I might want to do. And that's fine. That's the way I run my home. I believe that Allah has blessed me with a family, and so I would like to honour that to the best of my ability, and so I choose to live my life that way. I choose to prioritise my children since I only have them for a little while, and so I'd like to make the most impact and sacrifice my own needs to prioritise them and what they need for now, inshallah. And so I'm fine with that, and that's how our home is usually run. However, Ramadan is the only time of year when I'll put my needs first, what I need, what I have to do for myself. It's the only time that I actually find myself saying no, and telling my kids, listen, you're just going to have to figure it out because I have to make time for my own ibadah. I can be quite selfish in what I need to achieve in this month. So I make clear aims and clear goals before every Ramadan. This helps me to stay focused and prevents me from wasting any time. I then know what I need to increase every year. So every year I'll increase my targets, and then I will work relentlessly to achieve those goals, inshallah. I use Ramadan as an opportunity to refocus and build that connection with Allah again. Over the year, your iman might dip, and therefore you need Ramadan to have that boost, and that boost sort of carries you through the year. I see Ramadan as my starting block for the rest of the year, and so I really try my very best to capitalise on that and give my soul what it needs to keep going for the rest of the year. And you feel it, everyone knows, you feel that buzz as soon as Ramadan starts. Everything seems easy. All of a sudden you don't mind not sleeping, not eating, just spending your days and nights in ibadah. And so I like to use that time to give my soul everything it needs, that push that it needs for the rest of the year. And Ramadan is the opportunity to implement those good habits. So Ramadan is when you start, and then you aim, and your intentions are to stay consistent for the rest of the year, inshallah. And it's important to remember that Ramadan is a guest. It's only here for a short period, and for all we know, it might very well be our last Ramadan, and so we don't really know if we're going to be alive to see another one. And so Ramadan is the month to exhaust your efforts. It really is a time to get focused, start fresh, and begin your new chapter with the intention to continue thereafter. Ramadan is not the only month where I'll put jobs off. I'll clear my diary as much as possible, not only for myself but also for the children as much as possible. Obviously they still have things that they have to do, and we have to go out and sort of facilitate those, but generally speaking, Ramadan is the priority in our house. In terms of homeschool, obviously I have older children that stick to a curriculum. We're working towards exams, and so we will still homeschool, but our homeschool is a lot more flexible, and it's involves a lot more independent work, so work that children will be doing by themselves independently. As they're fasting too, I will notice that their energy levels, their levels of concentration will also dip, and so there is that room for flexibility and that freedom to be able to say, okay, listen, if we can't do any more, we can't do any more. As long as we ensure that we're doing our ibadah, then that for me during the month of Ramadan is the most important. And to be honest with you, I can't really say if Ramadan's easier now that the children are older or if they were younger. I think it's hard whether you've got young children, whether you've got older children that are fasting. I think just generally, especially with the summer fasts where they are longer, it is difficult for everyone. I definitely appreciate those homemakers with newborns or with toddlers or early year children, where it's really intense and they require a lot more assistance from you, it's really important that you remember that that is ajr in itself. So being a homemaker, taking care of your children, preparing food, doing chores, educating them, whatever it is that you're doing in your role as a homemaker is ajr. Whatever your situation is, Allah sees that, and if your intentions are right, then that in itself is ajr. But it's really important that you find what works for you. Try to be clear before Ramadan starts about what you hope to achieve, and they don't have to be big goals. They can be really small goals. They can be whatever you want to work on. So for example, for me, another area I like to work on is controlling how much I speak, controlling my anger or my temper, being a bit more patient. It's not only about worship, prayer, fasting, night prayers, things like that. It's also character flaws that you might be working on. And so find what works for you. You might be somebody who struggles with prayer, so you might want to just start with just making sure you're praying properly 5 times a day, and then work onwards and upwards from there, inshallah. Consistency is the key. Remember, Allah likes small acts of worship that are done consistently. So things that you can carry on post Ramadan. Ramadan is the month to do it all. Start small, work up in that month and do it all, and then try to stay consistent beyond that, inshallah. For me, as a homemaker, the hardest thing is homeschooling during Ramadan, for sure, especially since Ramadan's been in the summer. Fasting and homeschooling and talking all the time has definitely taken its toll. I find it really exhausting. This has become a little bit easier since the children are fasting, but I remember when I was doing primary homeschooling, when all 3 of mine were primary level, we would take the month off and just do school, but cover school work, purely focusing on Ramadan. Everything sort of fell into them working on Ramadan topics, Ramadan journals. That incorporated everything, and that was our main focus during Ramadan when they were younger. Extreme fatigue is always a big one for me. Just getting really tired mentally, physically, feeling very drained. And because my children are at home, it becomes quite difficult to nap, and so the days are really long. Sleep is very minute, and after about a week I can feel the toll on my body physically and mentally. But subhanallah, Allah just gives you that strength and you just power through. And I'm quite focused and quite driven in the sense that if I have a goal and I want to achieve something, then I will be quite relentless with my drive to achieve that, mainly because I have this terrible thought that if I slack now and I slack on this, then I'll start slacking on another thing. It's like a domino effect in my mind. So I feel like if I don't do it today, then what's going to happen tomorrow? I'm going to leave that and I might leave something else. And so just not to give my soul that opportunity to, or that room for shaitan to come in and weaken me, I just don't give up. I just try to stay focused. So it doesn't matter how tired I am, I will sort of think, okay, what can I do? Maybe I won't exercise that day, so that will save some energy that I can then channel and ensure that I'm hitting the targets that I want for Ramadan instead. So this year we're also working to be a bit more patient with each other, inshallah, since everyone's fasting, emotions are right at the edge, and so it's important that we work together as a team. Ramadan as a homemaker also gives me the freedom to say no this month. I try to keep things as simple as possible. Alhamdulillah, we don't have big iftars. We try our very best not to overeat at iftar, and so I don't have to worry about big lavish iftars or anything like that, and I allow myself the freedom to explain to people if I'm unable to do certain things. The children will also assist. We will all help each other to tackle chores and other bits and pieces around the house. Obviously housework never ends, so laundry, ironing, vacuum, all those fun stuff, we're still very much getting those jobs done, but we all help each other. The children will chip in and everyone collectively will get on and get those chores done. Again, as long as I'm meeting my targets, I see that in itself is ajr as well. So if I'm ironing, I'll try to maximize my time by listening to Quran at the same time. So that's Ramadan as a homemaker for me. But what can you do? What are some of the things that you can implement? What are some of the positive things that you can take away from my takeover and implement into your lives straight away? Like I said before, start with the basics, start with prayer and fasting. Then you can introduce sunnah prayers, you can introduce adhkar and du'as after prayer. Try to read Quran for at least an hour. Now you can split that hour up throughout the day in intervals that suit you around your lifestyle, and then maybe incorporate another hour where you do other forms of reading, maybe some translation or some other Islamic text. Work on some of the things that you want to increase your knowledge in. Maybe you might want to introduce some videos or some lectures that you could watch on YouTube. Whatever the things that you'd like to work on, maybe slot in another hour in your day where you'll focus on some other areas that you'd like to improve. Then you can introduce and start practicing your morning and evening adhkar. Remember Salat al-Tarawih, there's no excuses, especially this year with everyone being at home. Don't forget sadaqah, try to give as much sadaqah as you possibly can. Remember, it's quality over quantity, so really you're doing this for yourself. No one is in need of your worship. Allah is not in need of your worship. Really, Ramadan is a blessing for us. We do whatever we can do for ourselves, and so try to focus on quality. If that means you only get half a page or a page of Quran done, do something. This is really about you being in competition with yourself. Just make sure you're doing something. Something is better than nothing. You're not trying to impress anybody. It's not a race. So it's all about the quality and your intentions behind the actions that you're doing, the ibadah that you're doing. Don't forget to make dua. Ramadan is the month where dua is accepted, and so really make the most of that opportunity and remember to make as much dua as you possibly can. So if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed and don't really know where to start, try to plan your days. Like I said, plan the things that you'd like to work on. These are personal goals. You're not here to impress anybody else. They really are things that you'd like to work on. Like I said, I'd like to work on my tongue, my speech, sometimes maybe even my tone. So these are your own personal goals, things that you'd like to work on. You can also plan your day. Try to plan it around your ibadah, around your salah. If you plan your day around your salah, you might find that you get more done, inshallah. Find a strategy that works for you. Try to spread your ibadah out throughout the day if that's easier. Remember to prioritize tasks and use the 5-minute rule. So use a timer to catch up on chores if you've got a lot to do. Stick a timer on for 5 minutes and get as much of those chores done as you possibly can, and try to prioritize your tasks. Try to take a nap during the day if you can, wherever you can. It doesn't have to be going into bed. How many of us have the luxury of being able to do that during the day? But even if it's a quick cat nap on the sofa, try to get a nap in. Just keep your days as simple as possible. And finally, remember that Ramadan is the month that we're all working towards instilling good habits that we hope to continue and take with us beyond this month. And so it's not just about our worship during these 30 days, it's also about things that you will, inshallah, continue thereafter. I'd love to hear from all of you guys, so do share your advice and things that you might do as a homemaker to make sure that you're being as productive as possible during Ramadan. I hope you've all enjoyed my takeover. I hope you take away something positive, something that you might implement. You can catch me on all my social platforms, so definitely come and see me, say hi, let me know if you enjoyed this takeover. So now I'm going to do a short Q&A. I asked everyone on Instagram to send in their questions. Every year during Ramadan we do a short Q&A with my children. So it's no different this year. Alhamdulillah, we received lots of questions and so we'll try to do as many as we can, but we don't want to take up too much of your time. So I hope you guys all enjoy. What does Ramadan mean to you?
It means a lot because it's the most special month in the whole year, and a lot of reward from the whole month, and it's very exciting, so I hope to make the most of it.
It's my favourite month.
Yeah. Why is it your favourite month?
Because we get to fast.
Okay, cool.
And more reward.
It means so much to me because we get to spend more time with our family and we get to fast a lot more and think about Allah.
The next question is, what do you most look forward to during Ramadan?
I like fasting.
Is that what you look forward to the most?
Yeah.
I look forward to getting close to finish the Quran and just learn more about Allah and fast.
Fast.
Question is, there is this belief that homeschoolers don't learn how to socialise. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree.
You don't
because
agree?
there's so many clubs everywhere where you can join, and there's loads of kids that join clubs, so if you join a club then you're socialising with other people.
Yeah, I agree. I think you socialise slightly better because you're more mature, and you surround yourself with more mature people, so I don't think that's very true.
So, do you think homeschoolers know how to socialise?
Yes.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
Because we always do clubs.
Yeah, you do lots of clubs, you get to meet lots of children, don't you? You make friends. And also, like you were saying, you socialise a lot with adults as well. So
Yes.
it means that you're a bit more mature maybe. And plus there's lots of mixed age children, you get to socialise with children from lots of different backgrounds, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Describe your mum in one word.
Can I go first?
Oh,
Yep.
I have so many.
Lovely.
Oh, thanks. Do you really mean that?
Yes.
Powerful.
Powerful. I am powerful.
Ooh, I want a better word than just hard-working, but the hardest working, I think. If there's a word for hardest worker. Yeah. Always working.
Oh no, can I redo one?
Yeah.
Talented.
Talented. Oh, thank you so much. Somebody kindly said, I love your children, there's no question, just lots of dua for them, which is really nice.
Thank you.
Next question is a good one.
From
It's who are your inspiration?
Mummy
and Daddy.
Mummy and Daddy.
Yeah, Mummy and Daddy. Apart from Mummy and Daddy, I like Habib.
Yep.
Habib.
Yeah.
And Ibti Hajj Muhammad.
Yes, she's very inspiring, isn't she?
Yes.
Mashallah.
Baji.
Oh, your siblings.
And Bajan.
Yeah. So what would be your advice to homeschool children who want to try school?
I recommend not, because if you homeschool, you finish school at like 12 o'clock, where if you actually go to school, you'll finish at 3. And you can go on holiday during school.
Yes, very important.
It's really fun homeschooling. And you get to go to all these clubs and stuff.
I mean, I prefer homeschool, of course, but it's your decision. I think if you would go into school, I think if you've already done homeschool, I think you'd socialise better, in my opinion, and you'd be more mature. Of course, you can always come back to homeschool if you want to.
What's your favourite season and why?
I like summer because it's nice and hot and you can have water fights.
Winter because you get to snuggle up in your blanket and drink hot chocolate.
I like summer because you can just be more creative and play outside.
As children who have gone through homeschooling, any ideas how I can make it meaningful for my children?
You could add games into the work, or you could go on trips to make it more memorable.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you can add more clubs into what you do and more work, and you can be more flexible with your time.
Also, just spending time with your kids is a great way of making memories and making homeschooling a bit more memorable. Again, taking trips, doing things that are slightly different to what they would be doing if they were in school. What is something your mum does that embarrasses you?
Oh yeah, I don't know about
Nothing.
This one.
I don't do.
Yeah, nothing.
Continuous
Nothing.
pictures.
I don't do anything that
Continuous
embarrasses this
pictures.
one.
Oh, on Eid you take too many pictures.
I take
Yeah, and
too
we're
many
always like,
I just want to play.
Or when I'm always trying to fix your messy hair,
Yeah.
tidy you up a bit, make you look a bit
No,
more
when
presentable.
you tell us off in public.
Yeah.
Tell
when
you
you
off in
tell us-
public.
When you tell us off.
When
I
you
don't
Yeah.
tell you off in public.
Yeah, you don't.
Well, maybe you should behave yourself in public a bit more. What's your favourite part of Ramadan?
Fasting.
Fasting, of course, and I enjoy reading Quran.
fasting and reading Quran and remembering Allah.
But what about also Taraweeh at night? Night
yeah,
prayers,
I liked
I like
helping at the masjid because you go to the masjid
and we sometimes clean.
and
and
really
eating
fun.
at the mustard.
and
That's fun.
setting up for iftar.
Yeah.
It's May last. Why are you guys so amazing? And I miss you.
'Cause
we miss you too. It's May.
Yeah.
We miss you a lot more.
Yes.
Then you miss
They
us.
definitely aren't amazing. You're a
We're
little bit
amazing because we're your bajan.
How will you help others during this Ramadan? Which is a great question because obviously this Ramadan is going to be different to most Ramadans.
I'd make dua for them and pray for them.
Yeah, make dua and pray for them, but also maybe for iftar and maybe give more food to others.
Make more. I think this year, because of the situation, making lots more dua for everyone. What would you like to achieve this Ramadan?
I would like to fast almost every single day and pray Tarawih every single night.
Inshallah.
Yes, inshallah. Inshallah, I want to do that also. I want to fast every day, inshallah, and hopefully finish the Quran.
I want to fast 8 hours again, inshallah.
What part of homeschool do you enjoy the most?
That we finish early and we get to spend lots of time with our mum and dad.
Going on trips.
Yes, I think finishing early so you have more downtime and also doing the clubs. I enjoy doing clubs.
And what about holidays when
Yeah.
everything's empty?
Yes.
So
Oh yeah,
You don't
that's
have to
and we
queue
go
up.
to theme parks as well.
It's very
That's fun.
convenient.
yeah,
So
like chilling.
you don't have to queue for anything.
Yeah.
You're a bit spoiled, aren't you? Going on holiday as well, off peak
Yeah.
when it's
Finishing
not busy
school
at all.
early as well.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
It's one thing I enjoy. Oh, this is a really good one. What achievements are you most proud of?
Being the only kid to get junior of the year in karate and getting the most high score gradings in
Yeah,
karate.
that's really good.
Playing for an academy football team is a big achievement. Going on many tours and playing up a year regularly.
Yeah, mashallah, Mahmoud.
I think starting the Quran. Oh yeah, I'm a good swimmer.
Yeah.
What
I should be in the Olympics.
What's your best memory so far?
Whenever the boys would go on like a trip and mummy and I were by ourselves because those were good memories.
I have a really, really good memory from when I was really, really young, like 5, 6 years old. I remember when my mum and I made dua that Allah would send me money, and then I woke up in the morning and Allah like gave me £1.50. That's a good memory. I remember that.
Going to play Brighton.
One of my favourite memories was seeing the Kaaba for the first time.
Yes. Also, I really enjoyed going to do Umrah and seeing the Kaaba for the first time.
I'm sure you were younger. I'm sure you were younger than 5, by the way. I'm sure you were
I was
younger.
My favourite memory is my party when I finished the Gaida.
What party did you have?
A fortnight party.
Yeah, a nice fortnight cake.
Yeah,
Lots of presents.
yeah, it is.
What do you guys enjoy most about Ramadan other than fasting, masjid and Taraweeh?
Reading Quran and spending more time with your mum and dad.
Reading Quran, of course, spending time with the family. But I also enjoy iftar a lot. The satisfaction.
Yeah,
very,
definitely. You
very
feel like
good.
you've achieved
Something,
something.
yes.
Yeah,
Iftar and reading Quran.
Yeah, reading Quran. What else do you enjoy about Ramadan? That mum's tired that you don't have to do that much school.
Yes, that 100%.
I also like decorating the house for Eid and Ramadan.
Also knowing that Ramadan is such a blessed month, you're closer to Allah, that your du'as are accepted, all these sort of things are things that we all enjoy collectively. Making du'a before iftar is also something we all enjoy doing together, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. What are your hobbies?
What are your hobbies?
Karate, netball, gymnastics, pottery, and arts and crafts.
Football, of course, and I really enjoy riding my bike, travelling and wrestling. I really enjoy wrestling with my brother and my dad.
Yeah.
Annie,
and mummy.
you wrestle with me
Maybe.
all the time. I'm just too much for you.
I like playing football with my brother in the garden and also playing football and also wrestling with
Enjoy
my dad
wrestling?
and brother.
Yeah, you enjoy wrestling.
But he's too easy, so
Yeah.
I go to fight.
I'd also like to thank my children, Jazakumullah khairan, for being a part of this. Especially to my eldest, Hudayfa has had a really busy day today. He's been non-stop, and so the last thing he wants to do is come and do this video and do his old mum a favour.
I enjoy
So
it.
a big thank you to you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Thank you for your time.
Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum.
Bye.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Fariha network, and I hope I've encouraged you to feel motivated about your role as homemakers, and also allow yourself that freedom to say no to other things and to prioritize Ramadan, inshallah. Thank you so much for your time. Jazakumullah khairan. And please remember me and my children in your prayers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.